Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 34 of WealthWise 2025. Today, we're talking about from scarcity to abundance, reframing wealth in the age of regenerative economics. Welcome back, because this week we're shifting lenses from how do I defend my slice to how do I grow a bigger, healthier pie I actually want to eat. Regenerative economics treats wealth as more than money, because it's financial, it's social, it's intellectual, and it's natural capital, managed in cycles that restore, not deplete. This builds directly on our foresight muscle that we talked about in week 30, our collaborative finance topic that we touched upon in week 31, and our human plus AI edge in weeks 32 and 33. We're going to use these strengths to design an abundance playbook that compounds value for you, your work, and your world. Why does this matter right now? Because the last few years have proved that scarcity narratives, i.e., there isn't enough, can really trigger short-termism, hoarding cash, underinvesting in skills, postponing moves. Abundance, on the other hand, and in contrast, is not about blind optimism. It's about designing systems where your money, your time, and your relationships create repeatable positive cycles. It's about durable cash flows, optionality, and resilience. This aligns with our week 30 future fit mindset, prepare and predict, and our week 31's focus on wealth together, and our weeks 32 and 33's nuggets about AI as an amplifier, you as the best leader of your life. So let's look at all of the parts that make up this topic. The first is scarcity versus abundance. Scarcity framework sounds like I can't invest because the markets are risky. If I share, I'm going to have less. And learning costs are too much, both in time and in money. Well, an abundance reframing rewrites those scripts and allows us to say, I invest into durable, values-aligned cycles. Collaboration compounds because there's shared due diligence and shared upside. And lastly, learning creates assets, new skills, new intellectual property, and new relationships that pay off for life. So let's take this from thought and translate it into practice. We can replace one-off wins with regenerative loops. Capital into cash flow, into reinvestment, into the skill relationship gains, ultimately creates lower risks and a bigger opportunity set. So we can use our signals and scenarios framework from week 30 to choose what to plant now for where the world or the puck is going to be at in the future. Part 2, the regenerative wealth stack. Here's a simple portfolio and life design you can start this month. Allocate time, allocate dollars, and allocate your attention across 5 big buckets that feed off of each other and ultimately help you bounce forward. A resilience fund, because that's defensive and it enables greater optionality for you. So our purpose is to create a 6 to 12 month essential liquidity fund using T-bills, tips ladder, short duration, and sleep at night cash flow. Why? Because it buys you time to ultimately make good decisions, not forced ones, which highlights our week 30 resiliency play. Next, a regeneration sleeve, nature and community positive cash flows. So examples are real education, not just advice, on green or transition municipal or infra funds, community solar shares, energy efficiency financing, timber and sustainable land vehicles, circular economy ETFs, water repair reuse ecosystems. What we're looking for here is returns and real world restoration with clear impact metrics to back them up. The next would be community and common capital. So building wealth together. What are the vehicles we can use? Well, local investment circles, CDFIs, revenue share notes for small businesses, regulated crowdfunding, or a values-aligned DAO, but mind the rules. Why? Because diversification deals flow greater to the community and to each of every one of you, because we share research and we build trust-based pipelines that help with astronomical growth downstream for many. And we learn that from week 31. We also can look at learning and creation capital, which is the highest return asset. So what can we do here? Well, we can use our certifications. We can use our AI tools and automations. We can pick up micro credentials or highlight our micro credentials. We can productize our expertise through courses and templates and intellectual property. Why? Because AI can be your junior analyst. You remain the CEO, the CDO, the CISO, the CIO, whatever C-suite entity you are or your team is focused on, so that you can better invest in the human edge and workflows that help you scale. And we learn that from weeks 32 to 33. And lastly, we can create a joy and slack fund. Why? Because this gives us time wealth. We can budget specifically for recovery time, curiosity projects, and relationship building, because abundance needs spaciousness. We need time to think, to strategize, to create the partnerships, to reach out and see what's happening out in the across our global ecosystem. Slack time also reduces error rates and increases creativity. And we're foot stomping that from week 33's human advantage. So now it's our opportunity to link these buckets together. $1 saved by home energy efficiencies leads to greater regeneration. It also increases free cash to help us skill up, which bolsters our learning bucket, which ultimately unlocks higher earnings that you can then co-invest with your peers, which bolsters our community bucket, while also your resiliency fund helps to protect all of it. The next area is trend radar, where abundance is compounding. So we want you to use your week 30 foresight journal to track these regenerative trends and translate them into big moves. So circular economy cash flow, repair, refurbish, and materials recovery ultimately creates dividends and jobs. Nature positive financing, conservation, and sustainable infrastructure, because some funds tie payouts to verifiable outcomes. Distributed energy and local production, community solar, microgrids, which are exploding, and prosumer economics, which reduce volatility while creating higher yields. Community equity and revenue shares, neighborhood funds, small business notes, platform co-ops, sharing the upside with better local information. And then again, our human plus AI productivity, individuals packaging expertise with AI tooling, prompt libraries and automation, and producing royalty-like income streams. The next part is abundance, our abundance operating system. Two numbers that ultimately change everything: the enough number and our regenerative rate. So our enough number is the annual cost of your ideal values aligned life. Why does that matter? Because then you can design all of your abundant life portfolio into making that happen. Regenerative rate is the percentage of income or profits that we're allocating to assets that help us restore our energy, our skills, and our broader community ecosystem. Next would be metrics that matter. We're going to look at 3. Cash flow to delight, or CFTD, and that's percentage of monthly cash flow tied to assets that also improve our quality of life, lower energy bills, a safer home, and time saved. Net regenerative yield, or NRGY, and that's financial return minus externalities plus our measured positive impact. And lastly will be our optionality index, liquidity months plus cross-skilling level plus strength of your peer finance networks. Next will be our 15-5 decision sprint. This is called the Regenerative Edition. 15 minutes for your AI assistant to generate 3 options: bold, maximum impact, safe, steady state, and stay, optimize the status quo. It then lists the risks, returns, and impacts. 5 minutes for you and your team to decide. You choose, you set your owner, your next step, you note down your why. And this really mirrors our week 32-33 practices: AI as your radar, you and your teams as the captain. Then we move to the scarcity to abundance script swap. From I can't afford to learn to learning is my highest return asset. From markets are too uncertain to I diversify across cycles and skills. From going solo is faster to together we compound impact, outcomes, and revenues and profits. Lastly, our playbook, 7 moves in 7 days. We want to make this actionable for each and every one of you. So number 1, run the scarcity audit. List 3 money stories that keep you small. Rewrite each of these into an abundance script with the next action. Open a regeneration sleeve. Create a dedicated account or money bucket and auto route 1 to 5% of your income toward nature, community, positive cash flow assets. Education, not advice. Log why each of these choices fit into your core values and how you keep that going forward. Activate a micro circle. Invite 3 to 5 peers to co-research one regenerative theme, i.e. energy efficiency, circular retail, etc. Share a 1-page brief and set a dollar threshold for learners' tickets. Small, affordable tasks that help all of you move forward in this very important investment area. Fourth, productize one skill. Use AI to package a repeatable deliverable, a template, a mini course, a checklist. Price it, publish it, and add a regenerative tithe, i.e. 5% to your community fund. Lastly, number 5, cut a degenerative expense. Identify one recurring cost that delivers low value and high externality. Replace it with a restorative alternative, i.e. local service and durable goods, and redirect the savings to your regeneration sleeve. Number 6, schedule the 15-5 sprint. Pick one decision: home upgrade, learning path, side asset. Run bold, safe stay, and choose within 48 hours. Log your outcomes and your lessons. Lastly, update your foresight journal. Capture 3 signals that hit at tomorrow's cash flow opportunities. Policy shifts, energy pricing, repair markets. Tag them to next month's moves. So in reflection, where can you convert a cost into a cash flowing asset through efficiency, co-ownership, or productized skills? Which regenerative theme fits your value, strengths, and local context? What relationship could you turn into a micro circle for shared due diligence and access? And what will you stop funding because it depletes you? And what will you start funding that restores you? In closing, abundance is not a vibe, it's a system. It's about creating a strong, resilient base, regenerative flows, community leverage, and a human plus AI engine that compounds your edge seriously and exponentially. You've already built the core through future fit foresight, through wealth together, and through tech-enabled human-led investing. Now let's point those capabilities at assets that give back way more than they take. That's how your wealth becomes durable, meaningful, and wide. So challenge, post your week 34 move with hashtag WealthWise 2025, and tell us, what did you plant in your regeneration sleeve, and what positive cycles are you focusing on it starting going forward? Again, this is Dr. Rhonda Farrell, your success strategist, wrapping up week 34 of WealthWise 2025. From scarcity to abundance, reframing wealth in the age of regenerative economics.